Hi, Dr. Ruthann Russo here with some Tui Na medical massage. So what is Tui Na? It's actually a form of traditional Chinese medicine, and this form of medical massage that you can actually perform on yourself restores physiological and emotional balance. And it does this by unblocking the channels of energy that were blocked. And these channels can be blocked by tension, bad habits, poor health, any number of things. Tui Na literally means push, pull, and it's about moving the physical body while standing still and actually moving and manipulating the fascia, the connective tissue, and the skin to release any blocked energy. Now, please remember, as with any physical activity, only work within your safety zone and listen to your body. So we are going to do two different Tui Na forms of medical massage. The first is pushing and the second is tapping. So we'll start out with pushing, which is really the simplest of the Tui Na maneuvers. And what we'll do is take the thumb of your right hand and place it up here on your shoulder. And what we're going to do is actually use the thumb to press or push down the outer arm. And do this lightly at first. And then as you're actually pressing or pushing down the arm, press a little harder in certain locations. Like I'm doing that right before my elbow joint where I know I can actually have a little bit of tension and I can feel a little release. The harder you press, and again, within your zone of safety, the more release you might feel. Now I've got a lot of release right here, right over my elbow joint. And I'm just continuing the pressing as I'm pushing the finger, the thumb down. And I can feel a little bit of release of the fascia here in this section of my forearm. Continuing to press. And now when you get to the wrist, just flip around and instead of pressing down, we'll press up as we are going up. And again, different points, you might feel a little bit more release. Try that a little bit more pressure and then lighten up the pressure just to notice as you're pressing up the arms all the way to the shoulder. And again, you might give just like a little bit of a massage up here. Just take a moment, shake it out, and just see how that feels. And the same thing on the other side. So we'll go ahead and start with this area in the shoulder joint. And then press down in this outer area of the arm. So we get toward, now as I get toward the elbow joint, I'm creating more pressure to release some of that tension, and I can feel it releasing. Right over the elbow joint. Ooh, I actually felt a little twinge all the way to the tip of my finger. Continue with the pressure. And again, all the way until you reach the wrist, at which point you can flip around. And now press with that thumb, but press up. And again, right around that elbow joint, you might have some tension. Just see where you can feel release for you. And then up to that shoulder joint again. I'm just going to give a little bit of a hug here. Shake it out and just notice. Notice how that feels for you. Okay, simple. Hopefully you can remember that one. And now we're going to go on to patting or tapping the body. So this is one of my most favorite Tui Na medical massage actions, actually. So what this particular exercise does is it disperses aches and blockages, similar to what we saw before. Remember, we didn't focus on the breath in the last one, but we always want to do that. Remember to breathe in and out throughout the exercise and notice, always notice what's going on in your body and adjusting, right? Adjusting, whether it's your thumbs or your fingers, however you're actually performing the exercise, adjust to make sure that it's working for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the right hand on the left shoulder, actually the area where the neck meets the shoulder, the shoulder, this area where we often have a lot of tension. And we're going to do this 2 times. Once we're going to do it with a flat hand, and then we'll come back. And again, if it's something that interests you, we'll come back with a fist. It sounds a lot worse than it actually is. It's going to feel pretty wonderful. But we'll start with the hand in this point where we feel quite a bit of tension, and it's really literally tapping. So tapping, we're going to tap on the outside of the arm. We'll always start with the outside, that yang side of the body. When we get to the hand, tap in the area between the thumb and the forefinger. This is a really important point. It's one of the major acupuncture points for both stress and pain. Now flip the hand, tap on the palm, and now continue tapping and noticing. Noticing your breath and noticing how it feels. I got a little bit of dispersing of some blocked energy right here in my biceps. I can feel that up to the delts. And then back up to the neck. Just kind of smooth it out. Take a minute. Notice how that feels. Now we're going to go to the other side, again, in this area here, right where the neck meets the shoulder, and begin with tapping. Tapping down the outer arm. I got a little bit more pressure right here, right around that elbow joint. And remember, once you get to the wrist, that area between the thumb and the forefinger, do some tapping there. Lift your palm up. And now make your way back up to the elbow, to the shoulder. Smooth it out. Notice how that feels. Now let's try, if you're up for it, the fist. Same exact activity, but now instead of with a flat hand, we're going to use a fist. And just notice, I notice, for example, a lot more relief here in the area where I hold a lot of tension. So you might feel the same way. And again, varying that pressure. I'm using a little bit more pressure on the tapping as I'm right around that elbow joint for me. See what works for you. Tap a little bit in that acupuncture. This is large intestine 4, that acupuncture point. Flip. And now make your way back up. A few last, maybe slower taps here. Smooth it out. See how that feels. And now fist over on the other side. So start in that area. Oh, I can actually feel some release right now. Right in that area, right where the neck meets the shoulder, right? Down the outside of the arm. And again, you can vary how long you actually stay in a certain location if you feel like you need more time. Get to that wrist area. Now LI, large intestine 4. I'm giving that a little acupressure. Back up to the shoulder. And that area, feel some release. Smooth it out. Take a minute and notice. Just notice how that feels. And we can also do this in the lower half of the body. You can start with your hands behind the abdomen. So right at the bottom of your rib cage, right? You can feel bottom of your rib cage come to the back. So you're on either side of the vertebrae. And just begin with flat tapping down the buttocks. And then stay on the back of the legs. Down behind the knees. Sorry you can't actually see my knees, but I think you get the idea. Continue behind that knee area. I'm going to pop up, but continue tapping behind the knee area, the calves. And when you get to the ankles, come back up in the front. So the tapping is the same, but now you're in front of the body. Front of the thighs. Stop at the hips. take a moment and notice. Now, this is actually my favorite one, using the fists back here. So, and again, need to be careful because some folks have some pain, some chronic conditions. Only tap to the strength and pressure that is comfortable for you. I like it right here, then, right behind the sacrum. And I'm spending a little bit more time around the sacrum just because that feels good for me. Down the buttocks, again, with that, the fists. Continue down the back of the legs, back of the knees. And that might feel particularly good behind the knees. Continue behind the calves. Again, when you get to the ankles, you'll come back up. Maybe spend a little bit more time around your knees or not. And just below the hips, maybe do one last kind of tapping to end it. Let's smooth it out. Perhaps even smooth it out by tracing your hands all the way down to the ankles. Come back up. Notice how you feel. Perhaps take your hand over the heart, one over the belly. Close the eyes. Thank yourself for engaging in this practice. And know that anytime you feel like you need a little something different to kind of wake you up, to kind of feel more invigorated, Tui Na is there for you. Thanks for joining and see you next time.